spoilers, but in terms of his crush on Nikki, totally understand. Nikki's hot. Nikki's super hot. If you're gonna watch the movie for anything, Nikki's hot. From beginning to end. That's probably why I need therapy, but anyway. Okay, this is episode 21. So my ADHD medication is worn off. That's my life. Do you guys all get to do things like, I think of A, and then we're getting to B, and do you not go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way, and then, like, you finally reach your goal at Z because you just did, like, 15 different quests in between? Or is that just me, or us, or ADHD people, or neurodivergent people? Anyway, no, we're going to get there. We're going to get there eventually. Also, it's funny because I don't want to edit this very much because we're on a time crunch. Okay, so I named this story time. Gonna get ready. I'm entertained and tortured simultaneously is what I named the story time in notes, which might be too long. I don't know if that'll be the actual title, but it's a pretty good fucking description. So, we're gonna start with the visit that I had with my mom, my stepdad, my grandparents, my uncle, and his girlfriend. And not so much a story with them, but thoughts that I had while spending time with this assortment of family members. And I apologize if this is confusing because I'm not really going to give that much context or really elaborate on why I was thinking these things. It's just a list of things that I thought were low-key entertaining while I was spending time with them. And I was making notes in real time. Anytime that I was like, what the fuck is happening? I would just like write it down, or like write down the thought that I thought when it was happening. And this is all the precursor for the main story time that is an actual story. Kind of like how a person opens up for, like at a concert, there's an opener and then there's like a main person. So me hanging out with my family and the thoughts I had during that time is the precursor to the star of the fucking show, if you will. Which, honestly, like, low-key thankful that he came around and that he just gave me a story time and a topic. Like, the amount of shit that he said. Sorry, we'll get there. Give me a sec. We'll get there eventually. I smoked weed, so, like, that probably doesn't help the situation. Anyway, this is what I wrote while spending time with my said family members. Okay. First one is, I've been here for 2 minutes. I have cankles and too many tattoos. I'm going home. LMAO. Next point was, my stepdad is showing my grandma this song that's in the current top 100, which he borrowed their iPad to have everybody listen to it twice. And she goes, for no reason at all, is she white? My stepdad goes, yes. My grandma goes, blonde or brown hair? And I'm just sitting there like, why? Why is this happening? Next point is, wow, I actually feel like I'm having a heart attack here, but it's kind of comedic. Next point that I wrote down was, AI could never make this shit up. AI could not. AI does not have the fucking complexities of a human brain that is weirdly problematic, but in a way where it's kind of sugar-coated, so you can't quite really explain why it's problematic, but you know it is, so you just sit there losing your fucking mind. Anyway, my stepdad also said to my grandmother, who has I will give context for this one, stage 4 lung cancer and a prognosis of, and I quote, August at the latest. And for extra context, it is July 1st. And he says to my grandma, who's has August at the latest, you're worried about dying already? Next thing that I wrote down was, the conversation just went from AC/DC to Van Halen to making fun of each other discussing these band members, like, remember your boyfriend? And then switched to, he's actually Jewish, to Israel, to making fun and testing each other on their knowledge or lack thereof World War I and II. The next point was, wow, I really feel like I'm in flight or flight this whole time. The next point is, tired of getting in trouble for having a smart mouth for people who deserve it. And then we flow into the main part of my story time. So I finish this visit with my family and decide that I would like to go to the El Dorado bar because it's one of my favorite places and has one of my favorite people there. And it's a decompress spot. So I was like, let's go to the decompress spot. Also, side note from before, should have mentioned this earlier, but in terms of visiting my family, I'm not the only one sitting there in the corner going, what the fuck is happening? Because at one point, I looked at my mom and I went, how do you do this? I hear something and take a minute or two to emotionally process it. And very shortly after it happens again. And then I said, are you okay? Do you need flowers? Do you need Ativan or therapy? Because my mom lives with my stepdad and he's the one, probably 60% of the triggers in this scenario. And my mom looks at me and goes, all of the above. And we just started laughing and cackling in the group of people that are talking to each other and don't realize that we're having this conversation because everyone's trying to talk over each other because everybody wants to be heard and nobody wants to listen anyway. So, we're going to the El Dorado bar because Kiana decompresses there. But Kiana's probably going to take a fucking break from going there because every time we go there, something seems to happen. And I seem to be the common denominator, so I might just give that one a break. Anyway, so you remember how I said that the family visit was an opener for the real story time? So this fucking guy, I go to the El Dorado and I sit down and I'm there minding my own business, writing a podcast actually in my notes on my phone. And I see my friend and I get a drink and then I get another drink because I accidentally ordered 2 drinks at one time from 2 different bartenders and didn't say, I think that they have mine. But then I ended up with 2 drinks, which, oh no, what a shame. Anyway, and so this guy comes and sits down next to me and gives this big sigh as soon as he sits down. Oh, I just remembered something that I haven't thought of since it happened because I might have even started the conversation. Or he said, like, how are you? And I was like, good. How are you? And he goes, oh, I'm okay, like, rough week. And he, like, gave this big sigh. And I was like, well, you seem like the, like, perfect scene from a movie where the guy sits down at the bar and goes, oh, it's been a rough time. Like, are we at the beginning of a, like, what's happening? And what's the big rough thing that happened? And he says, well, I was just down in Nashville and like took a flight down there and hung out with all my friends and had a good time. And I was like, where's the, also I know I say like too much. I'm trying not to. It's kind of hard. Anyway, what's the rough part of this? Because I don't really see it. And he's like, well, the flight was really long and it was just a lot and I'm really tired. Like it's already been a long week and I'm not even halfway through it. I'm like, okay. And then, we kept chatting and I said, where's the rough part at? Because he keeps talking, because he doesn't stop talking. And we never get to the rough part, spoiler alert. Like, he says basically, oh, I need to get the boat all ready for July 1st so that all my buddies and I can go out on the boat and go have a good time. And I'm like, okay, cool. Where's the rough part? Where's the worst part of your week? Like, why are you sitting down at a bar stool sighing because your life is so hard? And he says, well, I'm worried my ex-wife will come and ruin it because she's recently divorced, or we're recently divorced, and I feel like she might just come and show up and make it not a good time. And I said, you're on a boat. So I feel like that's a non-issue? Question mark? I don't know. It seems like you could just drive away and avoid the problem completely that you're talking about that was so bad when you apparently have a boat. And oh, he also said he owns a bunch of companies. He actually said all my companies, and I was like, okay. He said, and I employ like a bunch of people around your age, or kids around your age, actually, I'm pretty sure is what he said. I'm just trying to give you context in the things that I think were not recorded, because after 10 to 15 minutes of talking to this man, I was like, this is fucking ridiculous. Also, a terrible person, and I can tell immediately because all you want to do is talk about yourself and like make yourself this victim in a weird situation where you have a boat and a house and cars and able to fly to the States and back. And there's nothing really that, unless there's something you're not telling me, but I feel like you would just for the attention of it, you know? Anyway, I'm just going to get to we're just going to get to the good part. I'll just skip past. There's more things I want to say. There's more things that I didn't get to record, but I did start recording partway through this conversation because I was so fucking mind blown at how ridiculous this human was. Like, I was actually like, I didn't say this, but I was like, are you a paid actor? Like, what is this the Truman Show and you're here to fucking test me? Because it's working. Anyway, here's the videos, pulling them up. I have 3. One is 3 minutes, 30 seconds. One is 4 minutes. One is 1 minute. I'm just going to let them play until I have something to say, which will probably be 2.5 seconds, rinse, repeat over and over. Yeah, you can enjoy the conversation that I had with this lovely person at the bar. I'm very excited. Ready? I'm ready. Okay. Here we go.
But
because you're a good person.
you said you're not normal like me. What is that part for?
Are you normal?
You asked me if I was normal or not, and I said, I think so.
Am I normal?
I'm not sure, sir.
I'm far from normal.
You could be.
You know what? I saw you and I knew you were a good person.
Did you? Right off the bat.
Right
Are you
off.
sure? I can be kind of an asshole sometimes.
I
I'm
got
not sure.
this gut tells me
This gut feeling.
people are people, right? Give me some of this. And I don't understand.
We can do the cheers
you're
part.
not hand touch thing.
Not wanting to touch like a stranger.
Sorry, just to give some context, when he said, give me some of this, he's like reaching out his hand to like shake my hand or high five me or something like that. And I had decided that I don't want to. And this is what happens after.
We're gonna shake hands before.
We're gonna shake hands before I leave. Or like, we could cheers too. That works as well. I'm not bored.
I think you're overthinking whatever. Can we not just be freaking normal people and freaking hang out?
What part are you feeling isn't like a normal interaction?
Now we need to analyze normal people.
No, you're saying I'm not being normal.
I'm just going to give a little bit of context here and there because I don't know how well y'all can hear that from my phone. So he's saying, I thought that we were normal and you were normal like me. And I'm saying, what part of this interaction do you feel is not normal? And we'll continue. I hope you guys are following. If you're not, or it's too chaotic, so sorry. I don't have time to do a new one. So also, this is too fucking gold. If you really try to listen and try to follow and I'll give you summaries of each video. I promise it's worth it. It's fucking, these people exist, man? Like, huh?
So I'm like, what part of me?
Shit, man. I saw you and I thought you were a good person.
You thought. Past tense now. You thought I was a good person.
No, you're putting words in my mouth. I never said that.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
I'll give you a hug in a freaking second.
I'm
I think you're
sure
an
you
honest, good person. Kind of weird.
That's him saying, I'd give you a hug in a second. And I said, I'm sure you would. And then I got distracted because
you won't freaking shake my hand or whatever. That's your shit.
You don't know where my hand's been.
Who fucking cares? We are friggin' whatever.
Are you good?
I know.
I'm in a good mood. Did you
I know
just get grouchy?
many people that will not friggin' shake my hand. They're
Many
like,
people that won't shake your hand isn't something to flex, my man.
it's a work thing. It's a work thing.
Oh, okay. There's a lot of people that won't shake your hand at work. Of all the companies that you have. Of all the kids my age.
There's not all the companies.
Not all
Friggin'
the
2 companies left.
What?
sorry, when I said I was distracted, I thought that there was a part coming up that apparently is coming up later. Anyway, he is saying, fuck. honestly, I don't even know his point most of the time. But basically, we're at a part where I reference how he said all your companies, and then he says, not all my companies. Like, I'm not, kind of like being like, I'm not that cocky. Like, I didn't mean it like that. And then he says 2 of them are failed or something like that. Or he has 2 left. And I'm like, okay. I love how you're advertising all my companies, and then you're like, well, I have 2 left and they're not doing it. You'll see. You'll see.
Sorry.
I'm not, no, trust me, I'm not being that guy.
Just teasing.
Oh, look at me.
No, just teasing.
I'm far from that. But I have done a lot in my life. And I'm very disappointed to go and shake my head.
Like, on a scale of, like, 1 of, like, mildly disappointed to, like, 10, I want to leave this establishment. How annoyed are you?
With you?
Yeah. On a scale of 1 to 10. 1 mildly can deal with it, 10 leave the establishment. How annoyed?
Be very disappointed if I don't get a hug.
Really?
Really. And no strings attached. Fuck that. Fuck that.
So he basically wants a hug from me, and he'll be really disappointed if he does not get one. And no strings attached because, and I quote, no strings attached because fuck that. Fuck that. And then we move on to video 2, or part 2. It fucking escalates, and I'm so sorry if you can't hear it, if it's just like jumbled jargon because it's coming off my phone, and even I'm having a hard time hearing it right now, like in real time. So if you're not, I'm so sorry, but I promise it's fucking worth it to listen to where this conversation heads toward. I'm not proud of the end of it because I kind of get a little bit spicy and out of control of my emotions, but you'll understand. Just listen.
I'll be disappointed.
I'm sorry.
I'll be disappointed.
Wait. Gotta make sure it's the right one. Okay, no, we're good, sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'll be disappointed.
Be disappointed.
Because I'm a good person, and I can tell you are a good person. And my freaking new girlfriend is gonna be here right away, so it's not like I'm trying to pick your ass up or anything. I'm just like...
I didn't guess that or assume that.
If you didn't catch that, his new girlfriend is going to be here right away. And he's not trying to pick my ass up because his new girlfriend is headed here right away.
She might want a hug from you.
Oh, I get distracted here.
What song is this? It's fire. No, what song? I'm going to put it on my playlist.
That's me yelling at the bartenders saying, what is this song? Because the song is Shake by Tion, who was just on the last episode as a guest, or the episode before last episode, before the bonus episode. If you want to go back and listen to that, that's actually my fucking favorite episode of this entire podcast and all of its shows by a lot. Anyway, his song was playing. I was like, hey, what's this? Like, anyway, for funsies, because Support Friends, also fucking sick song. Anyway.
Do you like this song?
I do.
You do?
So I think if you actually listen to me for like 2 seconds.
I do. Man, I don't... If we watch these cameras back right here, like, the amount of time that we've been chatting and the amount of time that I've been listening and you've been talking, I think might be a little disproportional, actually.
Well, I get this all the time.
Do you?
Yeah, the girls are freaking...
I'm sorry, are you about to open
It's
your
like, are
sentence?
you actually...
So if this is hard for you guys to hear, he is saying that if I would listen to him for a few seconds, which I said, I'm pretty sure that in the last little period of time that we've been here, if you watch the cameras back, it's just me. Sorry, I'm just moving around, going to grab something. it's just me listening to you the whole fucking time, and we're not actually talking. Oh, what also wasn't recorded was he mentioned that he was from a small town. I was like, oh yeah, like I'm from a small town too. And he's like, oh yeah, mine was like super small. And I was like, okay, like how small? 20,000, 30,000? He was like 30,000. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. He's like, yeah, it's pretty. It's super small, like you wouldn't, like kind of giving like you wouldn't even know vibes. And he was like we were excited when we got this Costco, like it's that small. And also he asked me where I was from, by the way, at this point. And like that's how that conversation started, was he was asking me a question, and then obviously took over the conversation because as per this person does. And I'm just sitting there going, oh yeah, that's crazy, when I am from a town of 2,500 people that was excited when it got a traffic light. But I just let him talk because he wanted to talk. So I was just kind of letting him fucking rock and sitting there and listening and laughing, honestly, because a lot of it was like a low-key comedy. Like a IRL in real-time comedy for me. For the most part, until we got to a certain part that we're headed up to. And then I was like, oh, no. I'm done. I tap out. Let's continue.
There's a lot girls are upset about. I'm not sure that's such a good.
I don't know. I think this is like my whole life now. I asked a girl out for the first time. First fucking time. I was like, it was crazy. I'm like, would you like that? And she was like, her friend was like, give me your number. And I'm like, she actually did. And so
Her
I was
friend
so
asked
embarrassed.
to give you her number. Her friend asked.
Oh, it's on her.
So he's saying he asked a girl out for the first time ever because apparently he's been married for all these years. And he said, I didn't know what to say, so I just said, do you want to go for a drink with me? And then, in his words, her friend was like, let me give you my number. And I was just like, oh, like you tried to ask a girl out and got like 2? Like, is that what you're trying to tell me? Like, what's going on? So that's the context of that one. If you guys can't really hear, again, if you can't, I'm really sorry.
I'll have a quick one if you grab them. Please.
You have enough drinks?
Yeah. No, it's really a hard thing to do because I've married like forever.
Yeah.
But I actually asked this girl out for the first time ever in my life because I never did it before. And I was like, it's freaking hard to do.
It is hard to do. I've done it.
It's easy to freaking hang out with somebody and chat with them, but it makes a whole freaking huge difference. If you want to say, hey, would you like to go for coffee?
It does.
What do you say? So what does it say? Go for coffee.
I know that's kind of lame couple of minutes there, but it's this part is where it leads up to the main part where I'm like, oh, this isn't funny anymore. I'm actually disgusted by who you are as a person. So that's where we're headed right now. And the context kind of in this part of the conversation is important to that. So buckle up.
Or what?
What is
what's the
somebody
best
say in
thing to
general?
say?
Probably like.
Context is him saying, how do you ask somebody out? It's so hard. And I said, well,
I think that people are probably validly uncomfortable if somebody asks them
The
immediately.
people you're talking about are us. So it is
You and
people.
I, that's the only demographic I'm taking, and
yeah.
that's people that I think how they should
So-
ask each other out.
So
That's the only demographic?
I think so.
We're doing real.
Well,
Okay.
I would really like you to explain to me another demographic.
Then you, a white person
Us.
in Kelowna, and me, a white person in Kelowna, you want me to explain a different demographic?
so I start saying, I think that people in general, would feel weird if somebody asks somebody out too soon. Like, I feel like you need to build some sort of rapport. Or that's where I was going before he took over the conversation as fucking per. And I said people in general, and he said the people you're talking about are us. And I said, so the only people that I'm taking into account of your question, like the only demographic is us? And he's like, what's the other demographic? And I'm like, so many. So many. There's so many people. There's so many people.
I'm half freaking Negro.
You're half what?
Negro. Anyways, so...
What you just heard. I'm half. Insert slur for people of color here. Which is pretty much where I shut down.
Yeah.
Please explain this to me. Please.
Oh.
I'm trying to understand this. So, the demographic. Okay, so, dude comes into...
I'm sorry.
I'll be disappointed.
Okay, so that's the end of that part. Dude comes into, he's asking how to ask somebody out. So we'll just go to the next one.
Have you been around the world? I've fucking traveled all over the world. I've been to 15 fucking countries. And that
He's been to 15 fucking countries.
word is just normal.
Is it normal? The N-word's normal?
Oh yeah, 100%. And you ask anybody that is there, it's normal.
I think you should save yourself the embarrassment and, like, dip, to be
Probably
totally
should.
honest.
Anyways,
I'd fucking...
give me a high five. Quit being mad.
I'm really
Quit being
actually
mad.
good. No, I'm really good.
Okay, we're not talking.
So that's where he says that word, and then we try to keep talking, or he tries to keep talking and tries to shake my hand, and I'm like, I actually definitely now don't want to touch you because you just used a fucking racist slur. In no context is that okay, but like sitting there and like there is a person of color serving you and you fucking say that, you absolute dickhead, who is way more of a pleasure than you are, by the way, by a like, if there's no comparison. You're like on like a scale of like how cool of a human you could be. Buddy that is sitting at the bar chatting me up or trying to chat me up is like 6 feet below ground, preferably. And the person serving him, who is a person of color, who is an amazing fucking human, is like the kind of human that anybody would want to be around at any point in time, and that just raises the fucking vibe. And you're sitting there using that word as if it's okay. Like you've been to 15 fucking countries and everybody apparently uses it. And I actually was complaining to my friend about this, and they made a point that I wish I'd actually said, and said, yeah, he's right. There's racist people all over the world. I'm like, good fucking point. Anyway, let's finish the last one. Flip over here. Oh, no, hold on. I think it's the very end of this.
Have you been around the world?
Fast forward.
I apologize. I do apologize.
So, that's all that I recorded. I wish I'd continued, because after he's saying I apologize and I'm not accepting it because you're fucking nasty, he gestures toward the gentleman behind the bar and says, you couldn't hold a conversation with them. And I look at him and go, sorry, what? And he goes, you don't have the intelligence to hold a conversation with people like this. And I immediately got spicy, and I apologized to my friend behind the bar because I said, hey, do you think that I don't have the intelligence to have a normal conversation with you? And he was like, whoa. Like, he's like, I'm just at work. Like, I'm not the referee between the people at the bar. I'm just giving the, like, drinks or serving the drink. You know, I shouldn't have pulled him into it. I just, like, was shocked by what that man said. And the whole fucking conversation was just wild, man. Like, I couldn't process it. So I paid my bill real quick, sarcastically told that guy he was a pleasure to chat with, and then left because I was considering violence. And I like not being, not having charges against me. It's a good time. So anyway, the topic of this episode, we're just going to transition over here, is called Obsession. Called Obsession, as if like I really need to explain what that is. It's the movie that everybody's talking about anyway. So I'm going to do a like synopsis of what happened while inserting my own opinions and some friends' thoughts and opinions about what happened and some of the scenes and the general message that the movie sends, which is kind of a win-win for me in the podcast because big topic of discussion and also something that I discuss in the podcast already in terms of social issues and whatnot. Anyway, continuing, blah, blah. Side note, I did see somebody post this video on Instagram, and it's like, when you talk shit about Trump or the administration, and then you need to do a silly little TikTok dance to get back in the algorithm's good graces, I'm like, I fucking feel that. Like, I need to put obsession in this title in all caps or something because I'm afraid to cross the border at this point from Canada to the States. Because, like, if they do a cross-check with my name that's on my passport and Trump administration or some shit or whatever they can do, they're not going to like it. So, let's just throw this into the algorithm because it's a real popular one. Anyway, obviously, spoiler alert, because kind of going to discuss the whole movie. So the movie Obsession starts like a horror thriller movie, if you didn't know, which is kind of weird if you didn't, but it is. And it starts with his cat dying. So the main character, or one of the main characters, and his name is Bear. And he's sobbing, and you see him sitting on his bed like, damn, that sucks. Your cat died. I'd be upset too, man. And then he says, as he's sobbing, like, why can't she just... And then you realize he's not sobbing about his cat that just died. He's sobbing because the girl that he works with, that he has a crush on, doesn't like him back. Anyway, so he has a crush on this coworker. And in the beginning, he's driving her home from some whatever they went to get together. And she literally asks, do you like me? And she's like sitting in the passenger seat or like was about to leave and came back and was like, do you like me? Because he was being all awkward and weird and saying like, I need to tell you something kind of like, he was just, you could tell there was something he was trying to get out and like, she kind of knows what it is. And she's like, I want to put this to bed. So do you like me? Anyway. And very obviously giving the vibe that nothing hopeful or romantic is going to happen, which Bear can tell. He knows. He knows she doesn't feel the same. Because if he had thought that she'd respond with, yeah, I like you too, he wouldn't have chickened out, lied, used the store-bought Make-A-Wish, break the willow branch thing, wishing that she'd love him more than anyone in the world. He would have just asked. And instead he didn't. He didn't say, I like you, when he was offered the question. He just lied and tried to keep his pride. And which makes the whole removing choice situation that much worse because he knew she didn't feel the same. Like he knew it before it even happened. Anyway, a side note, not justifying his wish, but in terms of his crush on Nikki, totally understand. Nikki's hot. Nikki's super hot. If you're going to watch the movie for anything, Nikki's hot from beginning to end. That's probably why I need therapy. But anyway, so does he actually think the wish will work? No. But also an emotionally stable person, and we can tend to be guilty of this, but you wouldn't be pining over someone to like you or love you if you are emotionally stable and want someone to love you for something you're not. Like if they don't love you, you would rather them love you as you come. So to pine and wish for somebody that doesn't want you is really just like who just doesn't feel that way, is you telling yourself that you're not enough as you come when really it's just not a good match. So it's not good for anybody's mental health or anybody's well-being really. But anyway, rather than going, not for me, moving on because she doesn't like me for me. And Anyway, the wish works. They get in a relationship. So, one of the earlier, more concerning scenes is when she duct tapes the door shut because she doesn't want him to leave for work. And he eventually pulls the door open and leaves and shuts the door behind him. And then she's standing there in the room, staring at the door that he just walked out of, smiling all creepy at the closed door, and starts urinating on the floor. And kind of not moving, like stone-faced, like smiling, but just pissing on the floor. So mine and my friend's takes were that A, she's doing it in a possessive way, because like a dog peeing on a bush, going like, that's my bush. She's like, this is my house, this is my person, like possessive kind of thing. And then we also thought because the real Nikki prays witness to everything that's going on and just has no control over what's happening because she's possessed by this thing, but she can like see what's going on, that she's scared as shitless. So it was like the real Nikki pissing herself out of fear. And then another one that we talked about was maybe she's so obsessed that she's unaware of her own bodily needs until he's no longer in the vicinity. So she just pisses herself and can't move and wants to see him the moment he gets home. So she just needs to stand there to have the maximized amount of time with him that she can, and also not realizing her bodily fluids need to be, not there anymore. And she doesn't go to relieve herself or anything because he's the only thing that matters. Anyway. She also makes his lunch for work and feeds him his dead cat, which I've heard the theory that the real Nikki made him the sandwich, like the dead cat sandwich of his cat that died, to make herself come off as really unappealing, like as unappealing as possible, because she does not want this. So obviously she's a bit much to handle and a bit much to be around at this time. So Bear calls the number on the One Wish Willow box and essentially says, yo, I didn't want this. This isn't what I expected. This isn't what I wanted. And the guy on the other end goes, say customer service person of the wish that he made, says, do you want to cancel your wish? And Bear goes, with all the audacity in the world, can I alter it? Like, are you sure? Are you sure you don't want to just cancel it? Do you really want any level of what's been happening lately? Not even just for you, because we know you're only thinking of you. We know that already. But her, like, you want to alter it. Anyway. And he also asks the man on the phone if it's real, like if the love is real, if Nikki's love for him is real, if Nikki's real. And the guy goes, well, this is Nikki. And it's just a shrill, tortured screaming on the other line, which is the real Nikki. So Bear's listening to this, aware that the real Nikki, or like the soul or whatever the fuck, or like the sound of what she's making in the body that she doesn't have any autonomy or control over, that's the sound that she's making within it while she can't control anything. So she's just tortured and, not having a good time. And they also attend a party where Nikki reads out this story that she wrote, that real Nikki was actually in the process of in the beginning of the movie, and tells this story of Hansel and Gretel being more than brother and sister, which may have been, some people I have seen think that the real Nikki is trying to make a point, like make everybody at the party uncomfortable and make Bear uncomfortable, because you're taking a Hansel and Gretel who is famously known to be brother and sister, going to a witch's house and getting eaten by the witch, which is kind of dark when you think about it as a children's story, but anyway, that they're fucking, which is also uncomfortable, and this is one of the sentences, like, not word for word, but pretty fucking close. This is how, like, creepy this conversation, or this storytelling got. Taking the flesh of your forearm, rolling it up, and putting it between my legs, in reference of Gretel to Hansel in the story. So that people thought that maybe that's real Nikki telling the story, trying to make everyone uncomfortable because that's how she feels being with Bear. Like, it's not a romantic love story. It's a brotherly sister love story, and deeply unwanted in terms of anything else. Okay. After that, there's a scene where Bear is, I guess I'm just a fucking, what's the word? Like, recap podcast now. I should start doing a TV show. Which one should I do? Too Hot to Handle? Or like Outlast? I would do Outlast. If I could pick any show to recap, it would definitely be Outlast. Maybe I'll do that the next time a season comes out. Maybe I shouldn't. I put too much on my plate as it is. Anyway, so Bear is leaving in a scene one night, in the middle of the night, leaving the bed that Nikki is laying in. And he's going to meet his other coworker that wants to tell him something. And she texted him and said, hey, I want to tell you something. And she's like, I'm going to come over if you don't come out. So, like, obviously we know she's going to die. Like, if he's going to meet a girl in the middle of the night and his current girlfriend has duct taped the front door shut so he can't leave, she's going to die, you know? It's kind of obvious. But anyway. So as he's walking away, there's a call from the bedroom, and it's Nikki, the real Nikki, saying, please kill me. Like, please, please kill me. And she's sleeping. Please don't wake her. So it's real Nikki laying down in the bed, saying the other version of me that loves you or is obsessed with you is sleeping. Please don't wake her. And also, please kill me because I don't want to be here anymore. And Bear's response is it so bad being with me? So, not like taking her wanting to die after losing all autonomy as the problem, but taking it rather as a hit to his ego. And she says, I've never been with you, Bear. Because he said, is it so bad being with me? And they've like fucked. And like, there's one scene, sorry, trigger warning probably, where like they're fucking and he's not looking at her face, but like her face just looks like she's there and like making the sounds, but she's trapped. And you can just tell it's like real Nikki. And during the, I'm going to call it what it is, and during the rape of, that she's experiencing, because he is only thinking about himself, never taking any. The only accountability he takes throughout this entire movie is he says, like, sorry when, like, 2 of his friends have died, like, for a second, but then he goes back to victim mode. It's fucking... Also, that's an ick. It's not even just you're problematic, and you're gross, and you're a predator, and you're scary. It's that you're icky. Like, yuck. Like, you are so fucking cowardly in that you can't even have a conversation about whether or not you like somebody or not. Like, are you an adult? Are we a teenage? Like, icky. So, anyway, he starts walking away as she's in the background saying, please, please, please kill me. And goes to hang out with this other girl. And she dies because Nikki is obviously jealous and kills her. Which I wasn't expecting. I knew she was going to die. I didn't know she was going to die this way. I was expecting that, like, they were going to be sitting in a parking lot in the middle of the night, Bear and this other girl that wanted to tell him something that he works with as well. A side quest. My friend's boyfriend I went to the movie with said, also wild that he wished for Nikki to love him more than anyone in the world has ever loved anybody. And like weeks later just fucking switches to liking this other girl. Like, he's like, oh, like, I'm over it now. Like, I'm done. I prefer this one. Which, obviously, there's a lot of shit going on to maybe, like, change it, make his decision a little bit quicker. But, like, wouldn't you deal with the current situation? Anyway, I thought that was a good point. So, I'm expecting, as Bear and this girl that he works with, Sarah, is sitting in the parking lot, I'm expecting Nikki to, like, drive a vehicle and smash her side only. And that's how she was going to die. But we were surprised. And they're sitting having a conversation, quiet, it's dark, the music is low, everything's low, and then it's like, pff, and it's Nikki smashing the car window on her side, and then putting the brick against the steering wheel that Sarah was behind, like she was in the driver's seat, and then just smashing her head against the brick multiple times until her head was closer to the consistency of a mushy peach. Which I wasn't expecting. Well done, producers, crew, cast, members, actors, actresses, etc. Was not expecting that. Was 10 out of 10 expecting like a car, not that. So that made it ultra creepy. Yeah, so. Where are we at? What's the next important scene? Okay. I don't really have anything to say about that part. Like, we kind of knew it was going to happen. We knew that she was going to die. After Nikki draws tattoos that looked like that girl's tattoos on her own body to be like, do you like me now? Anyway, so it ends with Bear in the bathroom about to kill himself in their bathroom. And he's going to shoot himself, then doesn't have the nerve to do it, and then sits on the floor and swallows all of his medication, which is how his cat died in the beginning, which that was all. There was also another theory associated with that he had left his own medication out in the open, not sealed, because normally it's closed, like child lock cap in the bathroom, like vanity or dresser or whatever the fuck drawer. But it was left out to purposefully kill the cat and then gain sympathy or empathy from Nikki before all this happened. Like, that was another theory that I saw. I don't know if I agree with that one. I do think there's something there, though, whether it's just foreshadowing or not. There's something there. Anyway, takes a bunch of pills instead because he chickens out on the whole shooting himself thing. So while he's in the bathroom, you can hear the snapping of a branch. So like the snapping of the One Wish willow branch. And so it's Nikki outside the door while he's in there. And yeah, so he took all of his medication, so he comes out, but he's obsessed with her because she just made this wish. So they're looking at each other lovingly, and then Bear just starts to kind of convulse and die. And my interpretation, actually, I found was a very unique one. And it was that, like, a lot of people obviously went, Nikki wanted him to love her and be obsessed with her because she was so obsessed with him, which totally makes sense. But my brain went revenge in the petty way and went, I think that real Nikki came out and made that wish and said, fuck you. I want you to know how losing all of your autonomy feels. I think that she was like, fuck you. Like, I think it was the real Nikki. I think she was just done with everything and just went, you can feel this too, instead of wishing it away or anything. I think that it was a revenge thing, like a very valid revenge thing. Yeah, so one of the bigger takeaways from the movie in regard to the ending is that Bear took his life knowing that when he died, the real Nikki would come back because there's no longer this object of obsession once he's dead. So he doesn't really need to deal with any pain or any of the repercussions of what's happened. By this point, by the way, 2 friends are dead. I just didn't tell the story of the other one. And for lack of a better phrase, at the end, Nikki kind of like wakes up and is the real Nikki and starts wailing and screaming and is obviously very distraught by the events that occurred and that she had no part in, no control over, no choice in the matter, yet has to live and deal with what Bear had done and taking on everything that was never her choice in the first place. And it's a reference to, the whole movie is a reference to domestic, sexual, emotional abuse inflicted on somebody, and violence inflicted on somebody who doesn't have autonomy or choice when it's happening. And then the victim or survivor, in this kind of interpretation or like analogy of what I feel like they were trying to reference, the victim or survivor of this abuse has to endure the repercussions of the aftermath, while the perpetrator of the abuse is free of the chaos that they caused because they took the easy way out and they didn't need to deal with any of it. Because, you know, his name is Bear, man versus bear argument. I'm hoping that came very obviously to everybody. I also saw a post saying men will leave the theater from obsession and be like, she got what she deserved. She needs to deal with the repercussions of what she caused or whatever. And obviously it's like a hateful thing towards like some men or like opinions that some men have had seeing the movie. And I saw that and I was like, I fucking disagree. I think that's rage bait or a bot or AI or something, because every person that I've spoken to, man or woman, at least 3 men about this movie, completely fucking understand what happened. Like, I think you'd need to be pretty dense to not understand the message that the movie was sending while simultaneously being this really freaky thriller film. Yeah. So, that was Obsession. I really like the message that it sent. I like how much it's being talked about. The movie itself, I rewatched it a second time and I was like, oh, it's not as scary, like, not in the theater, and like, it's almost kind of, some parts are almost kind of humorous, like, when you watch it the second time, but I am really happy. Like, I don't think it's the fucking scariest thing ever by any means, but I'm just really glad that it's being so discussed, because I think now is a time when we need it to be really discussed. So yeah, that was Obsession. That was my story time. That was my family visit. That was my El Dorado experience. That was my interpretation of the film Obsession. Hope you all had an interesting time, because I have. Thanks for listening. See you next week. Bye.